What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brooklyn McLean, and we are back. Another week, another quote. First of all, happy Sunday. I hope whatever you're doing, you're having a great time. Today, I'm coming to you on the road. I'm with my boys' basketball team over at Windward School over there in West LA, in the Mission Prep basketball tournament up here in San Luis Obispo. Um, so I'm just chilling in the hotel, had a little downtime, and I wanted to make sure that we keep evolving, that nothing stops the evolution. Um, we had a tough loss last night. The boys played well, and we're gradually coming together as a team. Okay, so basketball is like my first love. It's like that first girlfriend that she's, who, no matter what else you doing, she's still, she look good. So I always try to keep her hand in some type of aspect of basketball. Right now, is coaching um, young boys and just trying to be around them and be an example of how to be. So it's another way I just try to give back and keep growing myself. They keep me young, keep me youthful, keep me in shape. Um, Laugh and joke with them. Excuse me, all the time. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Anyway, we're up to quote number 7. Let me get that reflection out of there. We rotate it from my book of favorite quotes, A 30-Day Transformation to Becoming a Better You. Okay, so once again, um, the first 7. There's links in the description where you can catch up on your own time. But we moving on. So we're up to quote number 8. Once again, you can get it on Amazon.com or LifeStrategyMeetup.com. The book is roughly $10, and 10% of all proceeds go to buying toiletries and socks for people that are less fortunate than us, families that are less fortunate, individuals that are less fortunate. So I thank you guys for the support for me and my book. And hey, let's keep this thing going. We are up to number 8. Number 8 is unknown. I don't know who the author is, but when I read it, it really touched me, and I felt strong enough about it to put it in the book. So, number 8 is letting go and giving up doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it means you're strong enough to let go. Okay, we're going to repeat that. Number 8, letting go and giving up doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it means you are strong enough to let go. Okay, and that's by Unknown. Deciding to let go of something can be the single most difficult decision we have to make. It affects decisions with family, friends, a lover, or a job. At what point is it time to sever a relationship that is no longer benefiting you? I think for most of us, the idea of letting go of something we feel strongly about can have two faces. On one side, it can be viewed as quitting or giving up. Now, give up, a technical definition is to yield control or possession of, to abandon oneself to a particular activity, feeling influence. Okay, giving up, to yield control or possession of. Quitting or giving up. Both words are often interchanged to mean the same thing. Both are used to describe defeat in the course of doing or accomplishing something. On the other side, holding on can be viewed as maintaining control of something until a goal is reached. Deciding which it is, to me, comes down to a matter of how it makes you feel when it's time to make the choice. Whatever you're trying to do, how does it feel while you are doing it? Most things we initially set out to do start with an attraction to it. There is something exciting about it. It creates a feeling, which is why we set out to do it in the first place. When that feeling is tested with challenges, setbacks, obstacles, and disappointments, do we still respond with the same joy or love that we started with? Or has it now turned to animosity, anger, frustration, and powerlessness? Truth of the matter is, there are always going to be things that test you when you attempt to accomplish something. It is how you feel about it that determines whether you can continue to be productive while doing it. Do you accept and appreciate the challenges that you face because you understand it is a part of it, or do you let frustration overtake you, which halts your forward progress? If you are embracing the challenge, then I say keep going. Remembering the journey is a major factor in the enjoyment of the thing you are doing. If the feeling is the opposite, I would consider giving it up to pursue something else where I can experience those blissful feelings while doing it. Society is often viewed giving up as a sign of weakness, but depending on what you stand to gain by letting it go, it will determine if it is a sign of strength. For some, it may result in peace of mind, better health, happy relationships, or even a better job. For me, my big letting go moment was over money. I made an investment with someone who I thought was my friend. The amount was $150,000, just so you have perspective. Long story short, the guy turned out to be a crook. The FBI became involved, and the whole situation was a black cloud. I began to lose sleep, became irritable, and embarrassed that it happened. I felt betrayed, wanted revenge, and most importantly, wanted my money back. It came to a head early one morning when a voice in my head began to say, "Let it go." At first, I looked around like it was a joke or I was hearing things. It spoke again, "Let it go." This went on for about a week or so because I didn't want to accept that I was hearing this and because I didn't want to let it go. That mofo, and that's PG, had stolen my money. Eventually, I responded to the voice and realized it was my spirit talking to me. It told me to let go of the money, the anger, the shame, the guilt, and every negative thought I was carrying. I asked why. My spirit said, if you think that this is the only money you will ever make in your life, then you have no choice but to cause harm to this person because he ruins your life. But if you think that this money is just a drop in the bucket of what you think your earning potential is, let it go. I had to agree with my spirit that this was just a drop in the bucket, and I did let it go. I became restored in that moment. My peace of mind was given back to me, and I was able to see other opportunities present themselves in order to replace what was taken. Letting go saved my life. I chose to put down the anger, revenge, and shame. I chose to pick up my self-worth, my forgiveness, and my joy. In my opinion, letting go is one of the most effective ways to accomplish something. Weigh your own personal options and see what the best thing is that you can do for yourself. That is number 8. Number 8, letting go and giving up doesn't always mean you are weak. Sometimes it means you are strong enough to let go. So let's reflect on that. Yeah, I mean, we can elaborate on the story that I just shared. So yeah, I met a guy that I genuinely thought was my friend, and he was involved in some real estate transactions, and his father was a preacher. Um, Family, engaged to be married. I got, solid guy, at least on the surface. And turned out to be a crook. Turned out to be a crook. And as an actor and somebody who, hasn't had his own TV show yet or hasn't been a series regular yet, like to have been able to work that hard to save, $150,000, $200,000, was an accomplishment to me. So to have it taken away, really shook me to my core, financially, because I was just thinking of all the years and all the time that I spent, accumulating it, and to have it taken away, in a matter of months, was devastating. So my ego really wanted to exact revenge because I was embarrassed, angry, felt ashamed of myself, like how could I allow myself to get put in this situation? And lo and behold, I did start hearing a voice speak to me. So I could say it was God, I could say it's my higher self, my spirit, whatever it was, it started to tell me to let it go. And I didn't want to listen to it. I ignored it at first. And literally it was costing me sleep, like the voice was waking me up at night. And I was like, I'm just going to ignore it. And I got so angry one day about the situation and the condition that I was in that I literally enacted a plan to go do bodily harm to this person. And I rounded up some people and was on my way to this person's house to, you know, do something. And the people that were with me were just riding for me because they cared about me and you know, and the story that I was sharing with them about what happened. And on my way to this guy's house, um, I I started to have questions about if that was something that I should be doing. And I didn't want to hurt this person, but I wanted some answers. Like I wanted to understand why and what was happening. And out of literally 6 minutes from this guy's house, I get a phone call from a number that I don't recognize, and it was him. And you know, some BS excuse, but I was looking for some type of sign to call off what I was getting ready to go do. And that I took that as a sign. It was enough for me to call it off for that day. And when I went home, it was really like, wow, like what am I doing? Like I'm not this kind of person that goes and concocts a premeditated plan to go harm somebody. And the voice in my head was really loud that particular day, and I finally answered it. And I was like, why? Why should I let this go? And that's what the voice spoke to me. It was if you think that this is all the money you're ever going to make in your life, and you believe this guy took it from you, then you need to go in this person's existence. But if you believe that this money is just a drop in the bucket of your earning potential, then you need to let it go. And I had to agree with the voice. I knew I could make more money. My ego was bruised. You know, like a lot of years and time was wasted. So I decided to let it go. And then through further reflection, I realized that it wasn't even really this guy's fault when you get to deeper levels. Like on the surface, yeah, it was his fault. You know, he said one thing, I believed him, I followed through with action, and what he said turned out to be a lie. But as I've studied more and learned more about myself and universal laws and metaphysics and the law of attraction and things like that, I realized how my belief system about money, it was really inevitable that I was going to lose that money. It just happened to be through this particular person. And what that means is I had a poverty consciousness about money. And I never really appreciated any amount of money that I had because I was always comparing it to how much money somebody else had and how much money I should have by a certain age and things that I should have. Because I was progressing towards what I thought it was supposed to be, um, you know, that's why it was that much more devastating. But my poverty consciousness is what caused me to lose that money because I didn't have any real generosity or gratitude for where I was at because I was waiting for, you know, once I'm a millionaire, 5 million, 10 million. So a couple of 100,000, like I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So, you know, got to keep grinding, got to keep hustling, got to keep taking chances. So that kind of thinking, that kind of consciousness, it was inevitable that I was going to lose that money in some type of deal. So when you have that kind of consciousness, it's like trying to hold water in your hands, right? It's going to keep leaking out, so you got to keep pouring more water in. So it gets tiring. At some point, you're going to drop your hands because you're just getting frustrated trying to hold this thing together, as opposed to being appreciative and grateful and generous right where you are. So once I came to that kind of realization, that kind of awareness, I was like, oh wow, that was my fault. So yes, in the moment, I thought it was something else, but I'm glad I was able to connect to that voice or that God or that spirit and really listen, because it was a serious burden that was weighing on me. And it happened, another time when my dad passed away when I was younger, and being so angry about him being dead and gone, and feeling lost and not knowing who to turn to or what to do, and I carried that around for many, many years, and I took it out on people. And one day I just kind of got physically tired of being angry. So I decided to put the pain down or let it go. And it was miraculous, the feeling that I had from letting things go, or letting it go, letting that pain go, letting the shame or the embarrassment of that, real estate transaction going bad go. So sometimes, giving things up, giving things over, letting things go, um, doesn't mean you're weak. You know, a lot of times we try to hold on, you know, to prove how strong we can be. And yes, you have to have some resilience, and, there's an idea of never giving up. But I think that should be based on, like we talked about in the book, is how does it make you feel to hold on? Like if it makes you feel good to hold on to something that you truly believe in, like a dream that you have, that every time you think about this dream, it just lifts you up and it inspires you, then yes, by all means, don't give up. Hold on to that. Don't let go. But in my case, in these particular situations, it didn't feel good to hold on to that anger of my dad passing away, or to hold on to that resentment towards this person for what I believe they did to me. But I realized looking back now, it's like, oh, it was my consciousness that brought that event. Or, in the case of my dad, it was my thinking about loss and death that kept me in that position for so long. And it doesn't mean that you're not supposed to feel, when things happen. Yes, by all means, feel, express. But at some point, you have to stop and assess how it's making you feel. And if it makes you feel good to keep being angry or whatever, then sure. But it didn't make me feel good to be angry and to be depressed and to be ashamed of what happened, and embarrassed, and feeling guilty, and you know what I mean? Like that didn't feel good. So in those kind of situations, I encourage you to let it go. If it's a relationship that doesn't feel good, yes, you got to do your self-assessment and reflection and all that. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't feel good, you got to put it down. A job, you got a boss that doesn't whatever, or, it's not something that you truly love to do, and you're holding on to it because, oh, it's paying my bills or it's keeping me safe. And it's like, put it down. Let it go. Free yourself of these burdens. So that's what we're talking about as far as letting go, and not viewing letting go and holding on um, as something that, or giving up is something that's weak. It's not weak, because we're talking about how is it making you feel. So if these things are not making you feel good about why you even started doing it in the first place, then let it go. Give it up. Don't hold on. Right? Hold on to the things that make you feel good, that uplift you. Like never give up on those things, that idea that you have, or a relationship that, that makes you feel good, or wanting something. You know what I mean? Like don't give up on those things. Okay? So number 8, once again, is letting go and giving up doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it means you're strong enough to let go. Okay? Letting go and giving up doesn't always mean you're weak. Sometimes it means you're strong enough to let go. So what are we holding on to that is burdening us, that's weighing us down? Like, let's consider letting those things go. Let's consider putting those things down. Let's consider giving up on those things that don't feel good. And holding on and never giving up and never letting go of things that inspire us, dreams, ideas, relationships. Hold on to those things. All right? It's your boy Brooklyn McLean coming to you from the road. Hey, have game will travel. We don't matter where we are, we can get it in. All right? My book of favorite quotes, 30-Day Transformation to Becoming a Better You. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Peace.